What's up, everybody? Matt Kajeski here, back again with the Stochastic channel. Today, we're talking some best ball. We're going through running back tiers, and today we're isolating the players that are undervalued. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. And as you can see on the screen, our best ball package is free. This includes rankings for all the major platforms, Underdog, Drafters, DraftKings. We have analysis breaking down our tiers. Those are also available, as well as free content on strategy. So make sure you check that out. All right, we're going to kick things off. And just a couple housekeeping things. ADP you see on the screen is Underdog. There are players at the top of drafts. There's players at the midpoint, and there's players that are late in drafts. So when we call players a value, if you're near the top, let's say Jonathan Taylor, for example, our first guy, his ADP is 16.2. There's not really that much space for him to climb, but ranking him 12th overall, which is around where we have him, is a major difference comparatively. When you get way later in drafts, you have more room to rank players higher above ADP. When you're at the top, you don't, but your decisions are also more important. So that's why today we're including Jonathan Taylor, who's only 4 spots ahead of ADP for us. But he does come in as the RB4, and the reason I wanted to talk about him specifically is I think there is upside for him to come in as the running back 2. This is assuming that all the running backs stay healthy. McCaffrey, the unquestioned one when healthy himself. But people are ranking Bijan and Breece Hall ahead of Jonathan Taylor. I think that makes sense, but I think it should be closer than where ADP currently has these players. Jonathan Taylor's battled injury. And last year, even in an injury-riddled season, he averaged 19 touches per game. The Colts have one of the worst backfields in the league behind him. We're talking Trey Sermon, who's already been on multiple teams, and Evan Hull, a former fifth-round rookie who missed his entire rookie season last year. Now he'll enter his second year. Biggest concern is probably Anthony Richardson stealing some goal line work, and that makes sense. He is a very, very strong dual-threat quarterback. But Taylor, he's going to have a 3-down role. He caught 40 passes in his last fully healthy season, and he's going to be on an offense that's pretty good. 8.5 win total here, the 3rd best offensive line in all of football per Pro Football Focus. So this is a pretty good situation for Taylor, and as long as we don't get Anthony Richardson stealing a ton of goal line work, he's set up for an absolutely awesome season in this Colts offense, which looks improved. Going to our second back, we have Isiah Pacheco. And this is taking some time to load again. Happened to me when I tried to record this earlier. Here we go. Isiah Pacheco, ADP of 44.9. We currently have him as RB7. We've been well above ADP for all the offseason, and it's nice to see this kind of converge with our rankings. But the big thing with Pacheco is this is a guy who is similar to Taylor, no competition behind him. They let Jerick McKinnon walk, which just leaves Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a bunch of UDFA caliber players. Without McKinnon last year, Pacheco averaged 17.8 touches per game. And then when McKinnon got hurt, that jumped to 23.3. So with McKinnon, 17.8, without 23.3. And those are important games, playoff games. There is a chance they sign someone. Maybe McKinnon comes back. They seem pretty content moving forward with this backfield. So it looks like you're going to get Pacheco pushing 20 touches a game in a top 3 offense in the NFL, led by Patrick Mahomes, with an offensive line that's ranked 7th by PFF. Also, he was efficient. We're talking 23rd in yards after contact per attempt, but 12th in forced missed tackles. And he squashed the pass-catching concerns, caught 44 of 49 targets last year. Isiah Pacheco just set up to outperform ADP this season. Next up, we are going to go a little bit later in drafts, and we are going to talk about, as soon as this loads, Rachaad White, ADP 63.3 and Underdog. We have him as RB13. He has been flip-flopping with James Cook this season, and he's going to come in pretty close to James Cook regardless. But what you look for with Rachaad White is this full workload, and he absolutely has it. Last year, he averaged 19.8 touches per game, and there's not really much indicating that's going to change. When you look at his frame, solid feature back profile, 6 feet, 214. Efficiency is a concern, 41st among all running backs in yards after contact per attempt, but 17th in forced missed tackles. That's among backs that had at least 100 carries. But he's a very efficient pass catcher, caught 64 of 70 targets. he stood up to that workload in the 23 season, and they didn't add anybody of consequence behind him. They still have Sean Tucker and Chase Edmonds. Both are little scat backs that already failed to carve anything out of the Rachaad White role. And they did add Bucky Irving in the 4th round. That should be noted. I don't think Bucky Irving plays much of a role here. He's 5'9", 192 pounds, had a horrific combine for somebody that size. 4.55 40-yard dash is slow for someone this small, and he didn't even get to 30 inches in the vertical jump. I mean, I guess he could play a role, but it would be a huge outlier for Irving, someone as unathletic as he is, to get on the field. The offensive line here, I think, has a chance to be better. They currently rank 17th, but they have 2 stud tackles in Wirfs and Gedeke. Also, Graham Barton, a first-round pick at center. This team has a chance to be a lot better this year. And Rachaad White's still facing little to no competition in what looks like an adequate offense. All right, getting to our 4th running back when this loads. I do not know why this is a problem, but it is. It's going to be Austin Ekeler. I'll tell you what his ADP is when it comes on the screen. $129.7. He is the RB 32 in our rankings, which is ahead of ADP. Now on the Washington Commanders, he heads over there this offseason. I think the first thing to really note with Austin Ekeler is you have a player that was handpicked by the new coaching regime. People are projecting Bijan Robinson for a pretty significant role. He was drafted by the old regime. And we also have Ekeler 1 year removed from being a consensus first-round fantasy pick. He had a week 2 ankle sprain, which had him ranking 40th in yards after contact per attempt. But it's very hard to separate this ankle sprain from just what we would normally see, which is a decline in play as you get older. He's now 29, so a general decline should be expected to some degree. But from him being one of the most efficient backs in the NFL to going to 40th, seems like it's a little more than just general age decline. And I think that ankle sprain had something to do with it. Now, there are concerns. They have a bad O-line. They were ranked 27th in PFF. I think you only really have 2 solid pieces in Sam Cosmi and Tyler Biadasz. But this is a team that's still likely to throw the ball a lot to the running back position. They do have a new QB in Jaden Daniels coming in. But are they really going to turn to Bijan Robinson, who hasn't been very efficient himself? I think the answer is likely no. So you're getting a running back and one that's going to handle the more valuable touches, the pass-catching touches, and it's going late. Right now, you can get him right around pick 130 on Underdog and even later on some spots. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you have any suggestions for best ball, we'd love to hear them. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter at Matt_Gajeski. We'll be back with more content coming soon. Thank you guys, and we'll see you later.